Jennifer Navarrete with Social Media Club inside of the IBM Future of Social Lounge, and I'm here with David Geertz, who is with Sokap, which is a crowdfunding 2.0 company. And I have to first ask, what is crowdfunding 2.0?
Well, crowdfunding 2.0 is, with the evolution of crowdfunding moving towards where we all want to be, which is eventually equity financing. Crowdfunding 2.0 kind of sits in the middle, where it allows a backer to make a dividend or a royalty based on helping contribute to a project. So instead of purely a patronage model where they are donating or pre-ordering a product, where what they're getting is simply an emotional value, something back, ours is the first platform that allows people to actually make financial returns without it being an investment.
Wow, that's a fascinating concept, yet I think if we dig deeper, we'll find out it's quite a smart concept.
Well, I come from a film background, and what we wanted to do was mimic the old world film finance background by allowing people to simply pre-buy exploitation rights to future products. And that's what we've done, but we've made those, instead of selling off Canada and the United States and Germany, you can simply buy Miami or LA or Podunk, Alabama.
Right, right. Well, so how is Sokap different from other crowdfunding companies? Overall, you mentioned doing the royalty based or doing distribution, but I mean, no one else has done this before you. This is something new?
No. Yes, it is. As far as we know, our licensing engine and our algorithms for helping predicate the value of the cities, and of course track those royalties and pay out those royalties, as well as act as a distribution platform for the finished product, has never been done. So it's an exciting time for us, because it's going to be a learning curve for people to try and kind of see what we're doing differently than the 200 plus crowdfunding sites that currently exist in the market space.
So you guys are kind of like that wagon train that said, "Go west, young man." You're the pioneers.
We are in this space for sure.
Well, so what's the difference between commission and royalty-based returns versus securities? Because I'd like to learn a little bit more about that.
Well, a commission is basically what you're agreeing to do is almost like a biz op. You're saying, hey, and only one guy can own the rights to each town for a project on our site. So what you're saying is, hey, I'm going to give you some money, and then I'm going to talk about you, kind of get the word out about your project. So it's an act of work. It's not passive. It's a little bit, and because you're not, quote unquote, sharing in the revenue with everybody else. So if you and I buy two different towns, you don't get the revenue from my town, and I don't get the revenue from your town.
Right.
So if that was the case, that would be considered a security, and that would be what is known as selling shares or shared investment or shared revenue. So because you're the only one that owns that town, you're the mayor on Sokap, I guess. But in this time, you don't get virtual things; you get real cash.
Right.
That's the difference. Is that you are really actually promoting the product as well as being an evangelist for it when it comes out.
So it almost sounds very much like a stock kind of like the folks who buy stocks and understand private lending and equity. They'd understand this concept.
They would, and I think without getting into trouble, I don't want to say futures, but it's a biz op, right? So it really is like, hey, I'll buy the rights to that product, and in return for my money, I'm entitled to a portion of the revenue out of the area that I own. So that's really what it is. That's the difference.
That's the when it boils down to it. That's exactly what it is.
Stake your claim. It's almost like an oil well. I'm going to stake my claim, and when it comes out of the ground, I get a portion of that.
Right. Or even like the land rush or the gold rush.
In fact, 2 years ago when we were doing our early work, I actually wrote a blog post on the Oklahoma land rush and compared our model to that, where people were invited to come out, stake their claim, and if they generated X number of dollars off the land that they owned, they were allowed to keep their land. Right?
So you guys are like the Sokap Sooners?
That's a good Sokap Sooner. I got a hashtag Sokap Sooner.
I love that. Well, so where can folks go to find out more about Sokap?
You can go to Sokap.com. We are SOKAP. We tried to get the C, but there's another great company called Sokap with a C that already exists in social media space. And so, we're Sokap.com.
Fantastic. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
This has been Jennifer Navarrete with Social Media Club at South by Southwest.